getting played or are you being prepared at work? Now, this is something that I wish that I had heard about 20 years ago. Hey, yeah, we want to get you to the next level. And they're lying. Okay, they're really playing you. And in other instances, they're right there with you and they are preparing you. So
what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So some nuggets that I wanted to share today, especially for people who are in their early mid-career levels, in terms of they've just started a job or they're either on their third, fourth, fifth year. How to spot if you are being prepared or are you being played. So there are certain observations that you need to make when you are in corporate, when you are trying to grow your career, your expertise, just growth, right? You will know if that environment that you are in is preparing you for succession or success or is playing you. I have a lot to say because I've been in corporate for 16 years this year. I've been at this for a while, so I have some experience both on the preparedness and also the being played. So in my other video, I shared with you how I navigated understanding what I wanted to do, conversations that I needed to have, and just the ins and outs of my earlier career through the graduate program, earlier career roles, mid, and obviously then senior management. I have felt the pain of not being prepared by an environment, and I've also felt the joys of being prepared in an environment. So I can just give you a quick example. Around the time when I was going into a senior business analyst role, I made my intentions known that I actually want to transition into IT. At this time, my manager was like, okay, I'll make the connect with IT and then we'll take it from there. So he wasn't very prescriptive in terms of, you are going to be in this team, you're not going anywhere. Very lovely guy. And he really helped me with the business acumen of my career, early on in my career. Just how to understand about the business. Obviously, I was in a different industry at that time, but I learned a lot from him. So what I mean by being prepared, this is how it looks like. Once he knew what I wanted, he made the connection. And then there was a plan to actually get me into a senior business analyst role, and conversations that were being held to get me there with the right people. And I had a clear timeline. I had a clear outline of what needed to happen. So communication, plan, and talking to the people within, creating an environment where those conversations are held. And they're also held very systematically. So it's not like, by the way, it's not in the corridors. It was quite systematic. So I was confident that, you know what, I'm going to be in IT and do my thing. And eventually I moved from the current role I was, and I moved into business analyst role. And then there was also a plan to grow me in that role. So basically what I'm saying, how you know you're being prepared to grow in an organization or department is intentionality. You are invited to sessions, people know who you are, they introduce you to people. And there's also an HR element where this is what we are going to put Slee on. There's a plan to get her from A to B. On the other hand, how you know you're being played? Now, I told you, I've been in this game for 16 years. I know what I'm talking about. I've been played. Oh, Lord Jesus, all my life I had to fight. I've been played. How you know you're being played? First of all, it's not going to look like you're being played. Probably that particular manager will tell you, you great, you awesome, you're doing everything right. they are basically like gaslighting you into feeling like, okay, look at me, I got this. But there's no plan. There's no feedback around, okay, this is where I want you, even when you've communicated your growth, your intentions, no plan. Even feedback is very vague. No plan. Even the way the structure within the team is structured, no plan. And what I've learned is that don't feed off or rely on people's, you're so wow, you're so great, gaslighting you into thinking that there's a plan for you when there's actually no plan. Because that will hurt you in the long run when you actually eventually find out, wait a minute, I was being played. So being played is not nice. And people who actually make you feel like you are being prepared are not nice. There's a special place for those people. And I'm not going to say it, but you better read between the lines. There's a special place beyond this realm for those types of people, because they have created a narrative in your mind that you are being prepared. Meanwhile, they are not even giving you the slightest of feedback. And this is where now the narrative needs to shift on whether you're being played or being prepared. You need to have discernment in the corporate, right? You just focusing on your work, hoping for the best, hoping that they will see me is not enough. You need to be very transparent about where you want to be in the next year, next 2 years, and how you're planning to get there. Communicate that, document that, pull in the relevant resources to help you get there. Because if you're expecting someone else to drive that, honey, you're going to be expecting for a very long time. So I wanted to share this video for someone who's probably still wet under the ears. They don't know what's, hey, like, you need to wake up. You need to understand that your career, I remember the early times in my career, you own your own development. And that is very true. Your managers, your leaders, stakeholders they can assist you only once you let them know how they can assist you, but they don't drive your development. So avoid wasting your time, just your life in general, in any scenario, whether you are being prepared or being played. Just know what you want and how you want to get there, and have the necessary conversations and the right systems to enable that. I've learned that the hard way, and I'm like, wow. And the crazy thing about people who play people is that they don't look like they're playing people. They are saying literally all the right things, but then they don't actually lead or are transparent so-called leaders that actually tell you that, honey, I actually think you are not ready. Maybe let's think about putting this together. They're just gaslighting you into believing that, girl, boy, you got this. Meanwhile, you don't got this. Well, you don't got this is relative, because also there's no constructive feedback, and returning back to the loop is just open-ended. So anyway, before I say things that I don't want to share here, what I'm basically trying to say is, to avoid being played, you need to drive your own career. Okay? Especially with as I've gotten older, I don't have the luxury to not know what the plan is, where we're going. Are we going on a 60K per hour or 120? Because that will guide you around how you plan your life and just your overall future. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Please own your own career. People can enable you to drive it, but you ultimately own it. Bye.